She is made for gliding and learning, really, for orientation, but also somebody who likes to just glide around with some FPV. Pilots, welcome back to Motion RC and this assembly video of our Skynetic Mercury V2. As you can see, this is an awesome pusher glider with a trihedral wing, 1400 millimeter wingspan, and at the price, a perfect thing for anybody who likes to glide, anyone looking for a trainer aircraft, something that isn't going to get away from them, and also an awesome option for somebody who's interested in FPV, because it does include an FPV canopy, which makes it very easy to install the ZOHD FPV camera that we sell now at motionrc.com. Now, as with this assembly video, guys, we're going to go step by step through the build. We're going to talk about the spec. We're going to go through an unboxing, and then at the very end, we'll just walk around the aircraft, plug it in, talk about the CG, and just some of the features of her. But as you can see, she is just a nice, simple flyer, guys. Perfect for the price, and I have enjoyed flying it around for the minimal times I have. You could easily take her off with the landing gear, or you can take the landing gear off and just hand glide her. She is great for that, and she will fly for days. If you're somebody who's into gliding, again, one 1600 millimeter 3S is what I recommend. That's what I've been flying it around at, and you could be up easily over 10-15 minutes if the wind is right. So that'll do it here for my little opening. Let's get into the specifications. As I mentioned, she is a 1400 millimeter wingspan, which is just over 55 inches, has a good presence in the air, and I love the blue livery on her. Again, makes it nice and easy to see in the sky. As far as its length, it is 1030 millimeters long, which is just over 40 inches. Inside, you have an Admiral brushless outrunner motor that is a 2208 1550 kV. And you have a 20 amp brushless ESC with an XT60 connector inside, and it has a UBEC as well, which is nice. The propeller is a 6x4 electric prop and very easily installed, and then you have 4 8-gram servos inside, one for each aileron, one for the elevator, and one for the rudder, and those are easily accessible in the fuselage. Anywhere from a 1500 to a 2200 3-cell LiPo is what's going to be required. You're going to need a 4-channel receiver. Again, it's just throttle, aileron, elevator, and rudder. So now, let's get into an unboxing. As far as the box goes, she is long and thin box. Everything is fit in there really nicely. You're not going to have to worry again about any dinks or dents. But taking it all out of the box, you're going to see you get your 2 main wing sections. And again, they're trihedral, which is just going to help with balance and stability. You got your vertical stabilizer, your horizontal stabilizer. And then the fuselage is already going to have the motor attached to the top and that carbon boom sticking out the back. You get your landing gear and a little plastic bit that goes into the landing gear that helps hold it in place. You got a little spar that's going to be for your wings. You got your propeller, and then you got all your little extra bits like your linkages, your control rods. You're going to have your tail wheel as well in there, and also you get your FPV canopy. So there's all the parts laid out of the box. Now let's go step by step through the assembly. Okay, step 1 is going to be installing your tail. So now this is where you're going to do everything all at once. So you want to get your vertical stabilizer, your horizontal stabilizer, and your tail wheel. Get that all in front of you. And then you're going to use these 2 hand tightened screws. So it couldn't be easier. Put your horizontal stabilizer on top first. Then you put your vertical stabilizer on top of that, and it'll all line up once you fit it in there nicely. And then you can see there's 2 little hooks on the tail wheel, and you're going to push that on the bottom, and as you tighten, it's going to tighten the tail wheel right up into the vertical stab, and that'll make everything nice and snug. And just make sure you move the 2 control rods out of the way. One on top that'll go to the rudder, and then one on the bottom that's going to go to the elevator. So now the next section is installing your main wings. And again, you have that one little carbon spar. You're just going to put that on either side and then fit those 2 sides together. And then you'll see the 2 aileron servo leads are hanging out, so just find them inside the fuselage, the Y lead. Get those plugged in, check for polarity, and then once that's good, just put the wing on top, and then it comes with 8 rubber bands. I only ended up using 4, so I guess they give you a bunch of extras. You do not need all of them to install at the top, and I just did 2 going straight across and then 2 in a crisscross pattern. Just gives it a little rigidity and it'll make sure that your wing isn't going to move. And once you're done with that, your main wing is now installed. And then again, the landing gear is optional. If you plan on hand launching it, you don't need to install it. But as you can see, right on the bottom of the fuselage, there's a slot. All you're going to do is squeeze your gear together, press it up into the fuselage, and then this little plastic piece will push right in, and that'll shore up to make sure your gear doesn't fall out as you're flying, and just makes it nice and snug in there. And next step is installing the control horn. So you will get in the box 2 control horns, 2 screws, and 2 little back plates that help secure the screw on the opposite side of the aileron. And very simple to install. Just line it up, drive in the screw, make sure it goes through the back plate to help secure it down, and you are done and ready for the next step. And then lastly, you're just going to install the propeller, and it couldn't be simpler. All you have is a nut and a washer on top, so you're just going to take the propeller. Remember, the propeller will look like it goes backwards on the motor because it's a pusher, so just make sure you take account into that. But just put on your propeller first, then your washer, and then your nut, and just tighten it down. So there you go, guys. After that, you are basically all done. All you're gonna have to do is put in, at minimal, a 4-channel receiver, and then just put on your linkages. But it couldn't be any simpler. So taking a look inside, you got more than enough ample space in the hatch for anything from a 16 to a 2200 if you wanted to go that high. But again, with a glider, I tend to lean on the smaller battery size. Probably even a 1300 would be perfect in this aircraft. But inside, again, you have the 20 amp UBEC, and you'll see 4 wires coming out. So the ESC with the UBEC. So the white, the red, and the black are for your throttle, and then the yellow is just a positive lead that you're going to put into an open slot on the receiver. So let me slide the receiver down because I just tucked it in, and you can see it's just one little bit there, and that is your UBEC. So it's great to have on something like this. Then again, if you lost, obviously if you lost power, she's gonna float down, but it's nice to have that protection there. And I was just using a standard 6-channel Admiral. So if you have anything smaller, even better, but it fits in there very nicely. So now I'm gonna quickly take off the wings just to show you, because actually when I reassembled this from flying it, I didn't plug the wings back in. I have the wings unplugged. So I just use 4 of the 8 rubber bands when I fly with it. So the other ones are just extras for you guys. But you can see how simple when it pulls out. I mean, look at that. And again, you have the optional flaps. So all you do is just pull this piece of foam out, cut it out. You can add flaps and then just run it through with another Y lead. And you would have flaps, and you just have to cut the foam at the 2 edges, and then you'll be good to go. Add a control rod, add a control horn and a control rod, and you could have yourself flaps. But when you separate, you see there are 2 pieces of carbon. So you have your carbon spar on the bottom and then a little part at the top that just puts it together. And then you just make sure you press this to get it in. There you go. And once it's in, it's in. But this comes apart easily. So if you want to transport it, you're not going to have any sort of problem with that. So then inside, again, you have your Y lead that's already into my receiver. So then you're just going to get it plugged in, turn it upside down however you wish, but just make sure your polarity, white to white, black to black. There you go. Then just slot it in. And you can see there's like a foam square, if you will, that gets made by the lead, so it just fit in there snugly. It's not going to go anywhere. And then you just put your rubber bands back on. Perfect. Let me get the rubber bands on. So again, the way I did it was just one run across the front, and I went straight back the first 2. There you go. That's not going anywhere. Perfect. So now when you want access though to your elevator and your rudder, you can see they're right at the bottom of the canopy, those servos there. So if you want to adjust your throws, you would do it, or mechanically trim, you do it down there. Very easy access, easy if you ever have to replace them. Again, the nose is like a foam hard. Obviously, you can't get a feeling on a video, but it is not EPO, so it won't dent or damage. And now the landing gear, that little bit, you just pop this out, that little plastic bit, and the gear comes right out. So then she can make for an excellent hand tosser. So really awesome. It's something you could grow into, and you could even take off the tail wheel if you wanted to, but I don't think it's going to match. It's probably better to protect a little bit when you do land. If you're landing on concrete or something, you know, it'll probably be better off to have the tail wheel on there, but you could take that off very easily as well. And then when you install it, just press it in there and take your little bit, and this is what will sort of locks it into place. Just gives it enough strength where it's not gonna fall out at all. Nice and hard on there. So again, the canopy is just magnetically driven. There's a magnet on top and a little latch. So if you're going with your regular canopy, you're gonna be like so. But if you want to go FPV, again, I just rigged this up myself. And with the 1600 and the 450, this is how I was flying it. The weight is comparable to a 2200. So, you know, it was no problem taking off, but the foam canopy just goes right on there. And you would be good to go. Plugged in. Now let me plug it in. Again, it's an XT60 connector. There we go. We're bound up. And I slid the battery back a tad. You can push all the lead. There's a lot of space into the fuselage to put your lead in there far and away. When you're locked on, and then we can see. More than enough power. And again, this is full throws. I just left it like that just to see how she reacted, but you know, she's a glider, so you're not going to need much throw. Elevator, rudder, all moving nicely. And overall, just a nice addition to the Skynetic lineup. At this price, people looking for something to train on, if you're looking for something to get, you know, maybe a beginner, a child, somebody who's training at your club, new to RC, this is the perfect type of airplane for you because she's very forgiving. Obviously, you don't want to be doing crazy aerobatics with a plane like this. You know, the wings aren't going to take too big, you know, high G's. You'll rip those wings off. She is made for gliding and learning, really, you know, for orientation, but also somebody who likes to just glide around with some FPV. We can't stress enough how awesome the Mercury is for that. So guys, that's going to do it here. If you have any questions about the Mercury or any other products, jump in the comment section here on this YouTube video, or head over to Hobby Squawk. We have forum links. We have a forum thread for the Skynetic Mercury and all our other products, so you could jump in there. You could talk to me, you could talk to our product guys, our CS staff is in there, people, and then our community as well. We'll answer any questions that you might have. As far as this video goes, we're going to call it here, guys. Definitely look out for the flight coming very soon, if not already, on our YouTube channel. And then like, share, subscribe, and we'll see you next time at Motion RC.